Hey guys, it's Cream.
I'm sure most of you know this character by now. Spider-Man. For decades, this character has captured the hearts of billions worldwide. Comics, shows, movies, games, whatever the media he's in, it's sure to make an impact. But what if I told you that what you know about Spider-Man's creation was wrong? I know, I would scoff at that too, but that was until I discovered what I know now. And let me tell you, it turned everything upside down. Very recently, I received a comment by a user under the name 1337snake888, otherwise known as BruhTBH. The comment reads, "I actually invented Spider-Man. Ditko and Lee stole it from me." Now, obviously, I was reluctant to believe this user at first, because as some of you may know, Spider-Man is a massive cultural phenomenon, one of the most recognizable characters in all of fiction, and his history is well established. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko were the men behind this character. Everyone knows that, right? Well, there was something bothering me. I don't know if it was the profile picture or just the presence, the aura that this user gave, but something told me they were being honest. So I put my investigative hat on and I got to work. After countless hours of scouring the internet for any sort of lead, I finally found something. On page 421 of Google, I found an obscure blog post by user Mario Luigi Will Smith. In this blog post, it's revealed that Hugh Jass, his real name, was actually friends with Lee and Ditko. Close friends, actually. However, as the years passed, their relationship grew distant. Something about Mario Luigi Will Smith being a quote, rampant Batman fanboy. Now, the most intriguing part, by far, of the whole blog post is this. As a close friend of the two, I got to see some insider secrets. Some things Marvel wouldn't want you knowing about. Biggest one being that Spider-Man, arguably their most iconic creation, was actually stolen. Stolen idea from a rogue, little-known comic book artist named BruhTBH or 1337 Snake 888. Now, I could read you the entire blog post, which would be giving you as much information on the case as possible, but it's really long and that would make too much sense, so I'm not going to read it all, just that little excerpt that I mentioned. I will link it in the description for you to read it all and do the work for yourself. After reading the blog post, I was shocked. How could this go unnoticed, untold for so long? This commenter obviously has no reason to lie. Like, literally no reason whatsoever. Being deliberately deceptive is so unlikely. Why would they lie? So I decided to contact Jas for an interview, as I could not let this go unheard any longer. I needed to dive deeper. So the following is my interview conversation. Hey Hugh, how are you? Can you hear me okay? Yeah, I can. I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me. So, you were friends with Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. What was that like? Oh, I mean, they were really great from the start. Such brilliant, creative minds. They were. We actually became friends over a dinner party where I was the one serving drinks. I'm sure you remember that from the blog post. I told him that I had a passion for drawing comic book arts, and it just sort of sprouted from there, without rehashing the entire story again. I was brought in eventually, and my style was, a little too avant garde, a little too out there. So, what they had me do was be a judge of sorts for basically a trial they were doing to get a new comic book artist in, because they recognized that while my style was kind of weird, I could still draw. You know, young people were hoping to be the next artist for Marvel Comics, and they wanted somebody to kind of oversee that for them. Okay. And you said the start. Now, what happened to that relationship? Well, over time, it became increasingly obvious that something wasn't right. I mean, even before I caught them stealing the idea of Spider Man, the rate of how many ideas these guys were coming up with was alarming. I mean, it was too good, too fast and too good. I mean, there was this like big green guy, this guy in armor, this guy with like little wings on his head, like such random and kooky stuff that I was like, this has to be coming from somewhere else. There's no way that two people could come up with this. It has to be a glob of random people's ideas. And also, I was really big into that Batman character, which apparently he didn't like because, you know, that was the opposition and you weren't allowed to even say anything positive about them. Okay, and what would happen if you did? Oh, you'd face the wrath. I mean, Lee and Ditko would take turns slapping your. So for this part, I actually had to remove. It is too graphic for YouTube. So if you'd like to hear the uncensored audio, please go to the description. I apologize, but I don't want to get this age restricted. Now we will continue with the interview. Jesus, I mean, wow. So you touched up on this on your blog, but tell me about Bruh TBH or 1337 Snake 88. How do you know them? Oh, they were one of the little comic book artists, the little known comic book artists at the time, because there was like trials and whatnot to see who was going to draw some of the upcoming comics, like I mentioned. And it happened like this. I was watching Bruh draw without their knowledge. And I mean, they were magnificent, like unbelievably talented with that pen and ink. They were so talented that I came up to them and I was like, my God, kid, you are a serious rock star. Bona fide super drawer. That's what I told them. And I was like, what are you drawing? And they go, oh, it's my newest concept. A superpowered teen in red and blue tights who, you know, got bit by a radioactive spider and now has the powers of a spider. He can wall crawl, shoot webs, the strength of 100 men, lightning fast agility, durable as a spidey sense. I mean, an exact description of the character we all know today. I mean, for crying out loud, I was like, this is genius. I mean, this character right here could revolutionize pop culture, not just comics, but pop culture in general. Wow, unbelievable. I mean, what happened to him? Well, I told Lee and Ditko, hey, this kid is really good at drawing, like mad skills. But I didn't tell them about his idea. You know, I didn't tell them about. I didn't mention that. They said, "Oh yeah, we'll check him. We'll check him out." But then Lee stops me, right? Lee stops me. Stan Lee stops me, and he says, "Hey, by the way, Ditko and I came up with this new concept for a new comic." And I was like, "Okay, let's hear it." And what does he tell me? A superpowered teen in red and blue tights who got bit by a radioactive spider and now has the powers of a spider. He can wall crawl, shoot webs, have the strength of 50 men. Exactly what I just told you that Bruh told me. The exact same thing verbatim. And the next day, Bruh gets nixed. Gone. Lost the trials. The kid, I guess the kid told them their idea, and now here Lee is telling me that it's his own. I mean, are you kidding me right now? In my mind, I was fuming. I tried to find the kid again and I could never saw him again a day in my life. Now, 64 years later, I hear that name again and god damn it makes me sad. Wow, why didn't you say anything? Because I had nothing. I had no proof. I had this good thing going at the time too. I didn't want to poke the bear, so to speak. It kept me up at night, and it has ever since. To hear now that justice may be on the horizon, I need it. Bruh TVH, 1337 Snake Ada, if you're listening, you beautiful soul, I want you to know that every time I look, every time I see your goddamn character on TV, on billboards, on people's shirts, in Hot Topic, I think of you. God damn it. There needs to be justice now! God damn it, you motherfucker! Stand P, Steve Ditko! Justice! Justice! At this point, I had to cut the interview. He was getting too passionate, too intense, honestly, for YouTube, but nevertheless, I'm shaken. I don't know what to do. The character we all grew up with, the one we loved for decades, was all stolen. It was all fake. There's no reason for this guy to lie. I don't think there's any sense doing more research into this. Like, why would I do that? You can't fake this passion. You can't. That was real. Listen, if you were watching this, bruh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Thank you so much for creating a character that has meant so much to me and to billions of people across the globe. You should be rich. You should be a billionaire. You should be thanked every damn day of your life. I hope this video provides some healing, some form of justice, because I hear you. I know it's not much, but it's all I can do, and I don't believe it's too late. I don't. I want everybody in the comments section to please comment their condolences. Hugh sends his as well. I know he got a little hot-headed, so I needed to kind of cut the interview short, but who can blame Hugh? Who can blame Hugh Jass? This is a big day. This is a big day. So, with all that being said, God, I don't even feel like doing the outro. I'm so shaken right now. But the truth must come out eventually. Please read the blog post linked in the description. So, with a heavy heart, and with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace. Hello, my real name is Hugh Jass. I go by the alias Mario Luigi Will Smith on the web because I don't want anyone to know my real name. I am an ex-comic book artist. I now work 2 jobs. One as an aerospace engineer for NASA, and part-time as a cybersecurity cryptographer. Yes, you read that title correctly. The beloved comic book character Spiderman was stolen. The idea, the design was all taken. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko are not the original creators, but I know who was. It all started in 1960. I had a passion for comic book superheroes. Fantastic Four, Deadpool, Ninja Turtles, The Dark Knight 2008 were just some of my favorite pieces of media. I was so obsessed, in fact, that I started drawing comic book art. Not just that, but making my own stories. I would make my own plot lines for Batman, for example, and I was quite proud of them. I had one where he defended Gotham steel pans and various other cookware from dastardly grease and grime. Anyways, I wanted to take my passion and turn it into a money-making profession. So, I took my drawings and set out to take my opportunity. I had heard about a big get-together happening in my town, a giant summit hosted by Marvel Comics. Now, I knew they would never let some random guy like me in, so I had to work my way in. I saw one of the organizers outside, a pretty burly man. He packed some pounds. I asked him, "Hey, is there any way I could maybe do some work for you guys? Maybe I could help hand out drinks." "Oh, please, Mr. Kind Organizer, give me a chance. I'm just a wee lad looking for some spare change. This is my only hope of survival. I'm fighting out here. Please, sir, have mercy and let me at least be of some service to you for a little money." He replied, "Okay." So I was in, handing out drinks to some of the world's most prominent names in comics. I saw Nat King Cole. But then, there they came. Lee and Ditko, together, coming up for their round of drinks. I knew I couldn't fuck this up. I nervously poured the drink into the glass and handed it to them. I then cleared my throat and began. "Hey, Mr. Lee and Mr. Ditko," I began. "I draw comic art, and I was wondering if you could give me a shot at maybe being featured in one of your new comics. I promise that if you don't like what you see, I'll never show my face again." They both looked at each other, perplexed. Then Ditko spoke. "Okay, kid, let's see what you've got. Right now." My eyes went wide. Holy shit, I thought. This is happening. I reached into my pants pocket and gave them my crumpled drawing of Darth Vader. They stared at the drawing for what felt like 30 seconds. My breath hitched. "This is different," said Lee. I could feel a lump in my throat. I think it was my Adam's apple contracting from stress. "Look," they both said at the exact same time, "this art is a little too bizarre, a little too off-kilter." My heart sank. I poured my heart and soul into that drawing. I put at least 10 minutes into it. My dreams were crushing one by one in my head, and I was ready to crawl into a ball and go into the nearest manhole. But then, a miracle. I don't think this will work for our comics, but I'll tell you what. This art is still impressive. Come in and be an overseer. Help us choose the next artist for our comics. Like a judge, Lee said. I came. This was it. I could finally break free from my 9-to-5 economic policy advisor job. "Oh my God, thank you," I exclaimed, reaching out to eagerly shake both of their hands. "I'll do my best, I promise. I will. I'll give it my all. 100%, no excuses, top performance, once in a lifetime, all in, no excuses, no setbacks. I will do this. I won't let you down. No way. I'm so happy. I won't disappoint. 110%, big time, go time, game face." He replied, "Okay." It was the greatest day of my life. Or so I thought. Fast forward weeks later, and I'm at Marvel HQ overseeing at least 15 different aspiring Marvel comic book artists. Some were really great, while others were really poor. Like piss poor. But there was no doubt I saw potential. One of the aspiring artists was named Bruh TBH, or 1337 Snake 888. I didn't really look at them much, just because their name was so typical and common around these parts. I figured they weren't anything that special. Boy, was I wrong. As I was doing oversight, I saw Bruh drawing on the canvas. I froze. On the canvas was a beautiful design, a badass looking figure with an imposing presence, handling another human being, obviously a bank robber, like it was nothing. He was also swinging on what appeared to be some sort of rope. But most of all, I remember that spider symbol, right in the middle of his chest. Something about it sent shockwaves through me. I don't know how to describe it. It was like an electric pulse emanating out of me and going all over everything that surrounded me. I carefully made my way over to Bruh, making sure not to disturb them. "What are you drawing there?" I said, trying to sound relaxed. "It looks really interesting." "Oh, it's just this new superhero concept I came up with for one of the comics. I want to show them that not only can I draw, but I can also come up with original ideas." "Okay, what's your new idea?" "I'm calling it Spider Boy. It's a teenager who gets bitten by a radioactive spider and then possesses all the abilities of the spider: super strength, wall crawling, web shooting, lightning fast reflexes, that sort of stuff. I think it's pretty unique. You bet your bottom fucking dollar it's unique, that's what I said in my head. Also in my head, I was thinking of how much potential this idea has. It was truly so different to our other ideas. I mean, not like they weren't unique or anything. A fast blue hedgehog is unique, at least in my eyes. Oh, interesting, I said. I was trying to act cool. I then tried to calmly shift away, not wanting to make it too obvious that in my mind, bruh had already earned the illustrator position. Keep it up, I said, patting bruh's shoulder. Couple days later, I talked to Lee and Ditko about bruh. I told them how good they were at drawing, and made sure to let them know I was really considering them. I made sure to not tell them about the idea because I had forgotten about it. That's when the nightmare began. Well, yeah, bruh's certainly special, Lee started. But I don't know. Jimmy John is impressing Ditko and I a little bit more if we're being honest. Oh, okay, I said, but in my mind I was saying Jimmy John fucking sucks. Because he did. I turned to leave, still optimistic that I could persuade them to give bruh a chance in due time. But then, Lee put a hand on my shoulder, and my blood went cold. Oh, by the way, Ditko and I came up with this really nice and new concept for a new hero. We think it's got serious potential and we'd like you to hear it, Lee said. Oh, okay, sure. I'm all ears. We're calling it Spiderman. It's a teenager who gets bitten by a radioactive spider and then possesses all the abilities of the spider: super strength, wall crawling, web shooting, lightning fast reflexes, that sort of stuff. I think it's pretty unique, Lee said. I couldn't believe what I just heard. It was bruh's idea, just with boy instead man. I tried my best to hide my shock, but I swear for a moment Steve sensed my panic. Stevie sense. Yeah, wow, that's awesome sounding. Can't wait to see what that ends up looking like, I replied, giving the worst fake laugh ever. You won't have to wait much longer, my friend. As soon as we pick our new artists, it'll be the first in line. I nodded and quickly escaped the bathroom. As I nervously exited the building, all I could think of was that I needed to tell bruh. Phones didn't exist at this time, so I'd have to wait and get on my iPad to contact them. When I got home, I searched for a way to reach them. Nothing. Not a single mention on any sort of comic forum or LinkedIn resume. Damn it, I cried out in frustration. It would have to be tomorrow then. Tomorrow came, but 1337 Snake 888 didn't. They were missing. Everything I saw them drawing, every utensil they used, gone. Empty. I asked Lee about it, and all he told me was that bruh got fired, nixed, disqualified. I was shocked. I was angry. What the hell was he even talking about? How could this happen? What the hell was going on? But in the pit of my stomach, I knew. I knew what happened. They somehow had been told of the idea. I don't know if bruh did or not, but it doesn't matter. They stole it, and then got rid of him. How, I don't know. But I pray to this day that they didn't use foul play. What could I do? To my horror, I realized I had no direction, no proof, no nothing. I could literally do nothing. Damn it. Damn it, Hugh. Damn it, Hugh! Ah! From that point on, nothing was the same. I couldn't sleep. But one day, weeks after the incident, I got up from bed and I got a phone call from Lee. I was being let go. I'm not sure what it was. The subtle tension, my awkwardness, my Batman fanboying, I don't know. But we parted ways. Guess it was back to my explosive ordnance disposal job. #lame. But at the same time, I was glad. I wasn't working for those fraudsters anymore. I was free. But I know, somewhere, bruh wasn't. They had been robbed, and there was nothing I could do about it. I'm sorry. And now you know the truth. Every time you see some little kid with a Spiderman shirt on, or one playing with his or her stupid little toys of Spidey, you will know the truth. Their hands are dirty with deception. Justice always comes in due time, though. So for now, I will be patient. Please believe me.
Hola amigo, estos son mis poderes. Aquí está el nuevo poder de la máscara y los guantes de Spiderman. Ahora veréis luchar contra los malvados. ¿Quieren ver? Yo tengo el poder. El poder de Spiderman. Con el nuevo Spider Set electrónico de Spiderman.